Let's go.
Welcome to the Trusted Leader Show. I'm your host, David Horsager. Join me as I sit down with influential leaders from around the world to discuss why leaders and organizations fail, top tactics for high performance, and how you can become an even more trusted leader. Welcome to the Trusted Leader Show. It's David Horsager. I am here with another special guest, a friend of mine, Mark Hunter, the sales hunter. He is one of the most influential thought leaders in sales. He's author of this great book. You can see I don't dog ear and put sticky notes in every book, but it's called A Mind for Sales. He speaks all over the world. And in fact, today we caught him in Toledo, Spain, on your way back to Madrid, working with a leadership team there. So welcome, Mark Hunter.
Thank you for having me on. And yes, it is Toledo, not Toledo.
That's right. You're in Spain. So, and that's famous for, we were talking about this before the show, Toledo steel, which is the top steel swords, the Spanish swords are made right there. I've been to the factory there, by the way, and seen that and seen the we have a sword in our home. My uncle and aunt bought us for our marriage. In fact, we cut our wedding cake with at least for the picture with that big Toledo steel sword.
Well, you'll have to send me pictures because I don't have time to get there. So
yeah, right. Good. Well, Mark, before I get into it here, I think of you certainly as a huge thought leader in sales. Huge in your wisdom, not in your stature, but you are a tall gentleman too. Let's before we get there, just give us a little, 1 minute. What do people not know about Mark Hunter that they should know?
Well, people always think that I've been in sales my whole life. And of course, if you read the book A Mind for Sales, you know that it wasn't. I did not want to get into sales. That was the last thing I wanted to do. But I got into it only because I couldn't afford car insurance because of my speeding tickets. And that was the only reason I got into sales. And I was not a success. I struggled. So, sales was not first nature to me by any means. But you know what I learned over the years? And I had a great corporate stint for 18 years. And then I've been doing this for 20. I'm a little older than you. Just saying. And
but I've been doing this for 22, over 20.
Wow. Yeah. Man, that's impressive. And, along the way, it's just been an absolute fun ride being able to meet with so many thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people all around the world, really helping them understand that sales and leadership are the same thing. If you really think about it, a good salesperson, a good leader, what's their job? To help influence and impact others, to help others see and achieve what they didn't think was possible.
There you go. Yeah. And yet you make a differentiation with customer service and how service is not sales.
Oh, wow. You did read the book. I'm going to give you props on that. Yes, because customer service is just taking care of the customer. What I want to do in sales is create incremental opportunities. What I like to say is if you had a problem, not that you have a problem, but if you had a problem and I had a solution, you would want me to reach out to you. Well, that's what sales is all about. Sales is really helping people deal with their issues that they have to deal with.
That's great stuff. Well, let's get into this a little bit more. I'm going to jump to the book a little bit because I think people they can just go get their own, A Mind for Sales, Mark Hunter, CSP right there. But I want to touch on a little bit and tease some things out of it and also just ask you some questions. And I think the best place right now is you're working with a leadership team there in Madrid and in Toledo. Let's just talk about what are you doing for them? How do you actually help them think differently and perform differently? Well, give us some of what you're giving them.
Well,
we're just not going to pay for it.
Well, yes, thanks. Well, it's okay. I don't think I've been paid by them yet either, so I better watch what I say. No, here's the whole thing. They're looking to create some exponential growth. We're all coming out of this pandemic, and it's thrown a lot of business plans up in the air. And they want to create some exponential growth. But what strategies? Where do they want to go? We sat in a meeting yesterday, and I'm not at liberty to reveal the name of the company, but they have too many opportunities. In other words, we could put resources here, we could put resources there. My whole focus, and it's again what I tell salespeople, the most successful salespeople are the ones who are focused. The most successful companies are the ones who are focused. And what I told them, I said, look, we got to get these distractions off the table, off the plate. They may be good initiatives 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road. But right now, this is what you have to hone in on because this is your core competency.
And how do you decide? How do you decide? Because I've seen people say, "Well, we're just as competent at this and this and this," and yet clarity wins. How do you decide? You have a framework for deciding where to go on a priority or which to focus on?
Well, sure. There's really three things I'm looking at. I'm looking at what do the current customers say? What are they saying? Not what they're buying. What are they saying? So I'm going to them for expertise. 2, I'm looking at where the marketplace is going. What's the industry going to reveal? I mean, we're seeing sectors of the industry skyrocketing and others in decline. So you got to figure out which. And the third one is, what are the capabilities I have in the organization right now? One of the things that I stress with organizations is it's not about rewriting the playbook. It's not, we got to terminate everybody. No. Let's work with our existing talent. Where is our existing talent at? What do they excel at? And when I take those three things and meld them together, that's how we come up with a business plan and a sales strategy, because that's one of the big problems. So many organizations, they come up with a business plan, but they have no sales strategy with how to implement it.
Wait, what is that? What does a sales strategy look like? Whether I'm a Girl Scout selling cookies or I'm a tech firm selling the newest digital solution, what does a sales strategy look like in basic terms?
Well, in basic terms, it's not what you sell. It's the outcomes you create. What I want to understand is, what are the outcomes I create? What are the outcomes that I can make a difference in people? Then I'm going to back up into the product or the service, whether it be Girl Scout cookies or SaaS. Because if you think about it, why do people buy Girl Scout cookies? Do they want them for the calories? I mean, let me tell you something. The Thin Mints, they're still good. They've been around for years. I love them. But we buy them because we're supporting an organization. We just, it's the feel good thing. And then we wind up buying more boxes and putting them in our freezer. Why? Do we need them in our freezer? No, we just feel good. It's that emotional experience. Really, Girl Scout, they could sell almost anything and we buy it. We just happen to like their cookies.
That's true. And their cookies, that's an easy sell too,
See, this is the whole thing. It's an easy sell. And this is the whole thing. When you now place that small girl, 9, 10, 11, 12 years of age, who maybe you've seen in the neighborhood, and she comes up to your door and she says, "Hey, my Girl Scout troop is selling cookies." Well, who's going to say no to that? Right. It's not a question of whether or not you're going to buy. It's how many boxes are you going to buy? And of course, yeah.
Well, no, I'm just thinking this is really based on relationship. I just thought about this because when a mom tries to sell me their daughter's cookies, I don't want to buy. When they put it on Facebook and whoever said, "My niece is selling Girl Scout cookies," I don't want to buy. But when that girl comes then I want to buy, right? It's because it's relationship. And you talk about relationship.
Yeah, it's relationship and emotion. And think about this. This is at the core of more sales than we ever realize. We like to stop and think that, B2B sales it's not emotional. Oh, it is. Oh, B2B sales is not relational. Oh, it is. Everything. I say that trust is the currency of business. You have a very similar line to that. Yes, very firmly believe in that. And what does that mean? I can't create any sale until I've created this level of trust.
Hey, it's Ann with the Trust Edge team here. As you know, we are passionate about helping you and your team perform at your best. And that's why David wrote his new book, Trusted Leader. This true-to-life parable follows the story of a CEO who uncovers the root issue threatening his organization's success. And in the back half of the book, David provides a roadmap for even how to solve those root issues. Get Trusted Leader for your team, your organization, or even just for yourself at trustedleaderbook.com.
Well, so let's just take another step further before I ask some other questions. Like, okay, I'm really clear about the outcomes, that we offer. And here's the benefits to that person. Let's say we don't have a big history. It's a new product. How am I going to start to, work my way in so they see these great benefits and how they're better than everybody else and start to buy my special widget?
Well, this is where it comes back to. I'm going to do any form of beta testing or whatever to see what is the marketplace going to respond. Let's not kid ourselves. Nobody makes an investment. I mean, even going back to Girl Scout cookies. It's amazing when they come out with that new cookie. yeah, you want to buy it, but you sample one before you really say, oh, I'll buy 10 boxes or a case, whatever. See, so I've got to be able to find a way to sample it. Now, this is where so many organizations go wrong. They take the gut feel of what they feel. Oh, this is what the marketplace wants. No. The marketplace has to tell you this from neutral sources. And this is where so many organizations get caught up. I see senior management teams. They talk themselves into a lather. This is going to be the best solution. This is it. And it's all because nobody really has the guts to tell the CEO it's a bad idea. So what happens? This idea germinates. And then they go out to the marketplace and it fails. This is where I come back. I want to see what the marketplace is doing. And how does this fit into what I call the ideal customer profile, ICP? If I can't understand who this fits, who this is tailored to, I'm not going down that path. I don't care what the organization is. It could be Ford, it could be Boeing, it could be any company, but everybody's got an ICP, the ideal customer profile of who I'm going to sell to. That's then what you come back and build a business strategy off of.
Love it. Well, clearly you're into doing the research, just like you're gonna test this product. And in fact, I'm gonna jump in here to page 39 where you talk about people, whether they're measuring the right things or not. You talk about measurements that matter or measurements that count in sales. Just talk about a couple of those. What would you start measuring as far as sales?
Well, this is the whole thing. Just because you can measure it doesn't mean it's worth measuring. I mean, a lot of people measure, well, how many sales calls did you make? How many phone calls did you make? I could care less. I'm not into, this is going to be a mic drop. I'm not into quantity. I'm into quality. What I want to measure is, what is my speed with which I have a lead come in and I convert it to a customer? What's the speed? What are the number of interactions it's going to take? What is the percent of leads? Those are things I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned because too many times what happens is, and we see this throughout business, we go and measure activity. Activity has nothing to do with real, true productivity. I can be busy and not do a thing.
Boy, we see that enough, don't we?
Oh, we see that in every organization. And what this does is it creates this cloud. And what happens is it begins to distort thinking. I talk a lot about that. An organization has to be focused on two things, R and G, revenue producing or goal focused. And right down to the individual. If I wake up in the morning and what I'm doing is not creating a revenue or not helping me achieve my goals, why am I doing it? And yet when we start looking at organizations and reports that they crank out and systems they look at, meetings they have, what's the meeting for? Well, the meeting is to make management happy. Hold on. Is that really a meaningful goal? Does that produce revenue? No. So why are we having the meeting? I mean, I could go on and on and on, but so many organizations really have created a process just built on what we did yesterday. And this is where the pandemic, whole COVID, gives us an opportunity to really wipe the slate clean. Let's start over. And let's build it up from ground zero. Is this process even worthwhile? Is this operation even worth keeping? Should we keep this facility open? Why are we running 3 shifts? Maybe we should only be running 1 shift. Why are we against overtime? Maybe having a little bit of overtime would help us minimize the hiring of additional employees. Don't know. We have to be prepared to look outside the box.
Something I thought was really interesting, and you get into it in chapter 12, was some thoughts around discipline. I feel like in our busy world, we have an enormous enormous challenge with both focus and discipline. And it kind of feeds into what you just said, discipline, doing the right things. Can you just speak to that for our listeners for a moment?
Well, this whole thing, squirrel. We get distracted so easy. Salespeople are number one on this. We get distracted. And again, this comes back to the discipline. I always use this argument. Thinking about getting in shape is not getting me in shape. I can get a gym membership. That doesn't mean I'm in shape. I got to go and do the repetitions. I got to go into the gym. This is what discipline is. Discipline is being focused. And this is the activity I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it every day. The book Atomic Habits, came out about a year and a half ago now. Excellent book, because what is he talking about? He's talking about it's those little things done well, day in and day out, month in, month out. That's how you make a significant impact.
I love this. Great stuff. Great insights. One more just thought from your perspective, because it catches people off guard a little bit, I think. And as far as the book's concerned, and we might talk more about the book, but I think you say something about how social selling is neither social nor selling. So, in this world of social media this, and are you doing that? Fill us in.
I've lost a few friends over it, okay? I'm just saying, I've lost a few friends. Yes, because here's the whole thing. You cannot click and pitch, okay? You cannot click and pitch. The key word is social. I want to get to know you. I want to have a conversation with you. So many people have taken their sales strategies and just today, I'm on LinkedIn every day. And
this is, by the way, you're building a relationship. You're on every single day. You put a video on LinkedIn. Right? Every
single day, I put a video out at 6 o'clock. Now, I missed this morning and I missed yesterday morning. Okay, apologize. I'm in Toledo. Okay, so excuse me. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, I put a short video out, and here's what I find. I get 2-3 messages a day, and all they're doing is, I looked at your. No, you didn't look at my profile. They want to sell me something. No, hold it. Let's create the relationship first. When we create the relation, my objective is to take the online connection and turn it into the offline conversation. Okay, offline. Maybe it's a Zoom call, maybe it's Teams, whatever, but it's not in the context of LinkedIn. That's what I want to do. That's a meaningful relationship.
Well, one last word from the book from you, your favorite part, or why, one other insight that you would give people to, I'm not just trying to entice people to buy, I think you should, but, what's one other favorite takeaway from your perspective that people have said, that's one reason, that was a takeaway for me from the book?
You know what's funny? I've never been asked that question before. So I give you props on that. Here's the big takeaway that I say. Sales is not a profession. Sales is not a job. Sales is a lifestyle. That's the big takeaway I take from it. When I changed my attitude about sales, and I used to view sales as customers were bowling pins. My objective is to just knock them down, take their money, and move on. That's not the way you create a sales group. When you begin understanding that sales is a relationship, and then you begin to realize that it really is a lifestyle. You look at a top performing salesperson, and they're going to treat the barista the same way they do a customer. They're going to treat the person at the C-store the same way they treat a customer. That's living sales. It's focused first on you, the individual. I want to be able to understand you. I've worked with CEOs, many CEOs over the years, and it's amazing, but the CEOs that have the enduring legacy relationships are the ones who do just that. They create relationships that become legacy because they take the time to get to know their team.
Hey, it's Sam from the Trust Edge team. Most training and development initiatives don't last or even solve the root issue hindering your organization. That's where Trust Edge coaching certification comes in. Trust Edge coaches are equipped with a suite of tools to identify, benchmark, and close gaps in trust for good. Because when you solve the real issue, you get measurable results in a culture where people actually want to make an impact. So whether you're a coach with your own clients or a leader training people inside your organization, check out trustedgecoaching.com and see how you can start solving the root issue and get lasting results in your business. And now back to the show.
I like what you said, because in the book you even talk about thinking about in essence, thinking about yourself first. Like, who are you? It's not in a selfish way, but in a, I got to deal with me before I'm ever going to build relationships with them.
Huge, because again, this is the ownership. And again, you look at real leaders, they know how to control themselves. And again, this is one of the fallacies regarding sales in weak companies, is that they blame everything else. They blame, one of the excuses I always say is, why is there sales and why is there marketing? Well, that's so each one has someone to blame when they don't make their numbers. And no, we have to own it, own up to it. And there will be mistakes that happen. There will be issues that come along. But our objective, and again, this comes back to the whole piece of integrity. And I say, how you sell, how you prospect. And if you do this with integrity, you will get customers who have integrity. It's amazing how you reap what you sow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of interesting.
One thing I've seen from you that, just is noteworthy from what you said about 2.5 minutes ago was just, you are big on partnerships. I've seen, you run a massive sales conference, you partner with a mutual friend of ours or a few friends, both in mastermind groups and also on, this weekly show that you do together. You're big on actually living this out. I know plenty of people in the trust world, they talk about partnering and stuff, but they're like, it's kind of funny because they're not up for partnering anyway.
Well, and see, think about that. What is integrity is not done solely. Integrity is done with others. And yes, I'm a firm believer in creating partnerships. I'm a firm believer in how can I help you? And this is the whole thing that I always say. I want to create partnerships with one objective. I want to help you. Because a rising tide lifts all boats. When I help you, this goes back to Zig Ziglar. You help enough people achieve what they want to achieve, and you'll achieve what you need to achieve. It's amazing. But that's why I'm continuously trying to find partnerships, trying to find ways to be able to leverage and support and build into other people. And it in turn creates opportunities. The big conference I do every year, that is a result of myself and 3 other individuals. And we just decided to dream big and go big. Mm-hmm. And it keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah.
It's big. Before we land the plane, let's get personal for a little bit. What's happening now? What are you learning now? A lot of people say, what did you learn back then in that research? What did you learn back when you were writing the book? What are you learning these days?
I am learning a huge sense of humility. And I really, really, my father-in-law is going through some real health situations right now. And it's really causing me to really be much more humble about my own situation, the need to take care of myself, and the need to really show love of my wife. And we've had to make some critical decisions. And I told my wife, I said, we'll do whatever you feel is best, because he's your father. And so I've had to learn. And again, this is one of those, life is a journey. Life, every day we learn something new, every day. And I'm just continually amazed. And here's what I found. The more humble I am, the better listener I am. The better listener I am, the more I hear the needs of the customer. The more I hear the needs of the customer, the better I can serve them. Gee, I'm serving my wife and I'm helping my business. Hey, that's a perfect moment, right? But that's really what life is all about. Life is a journey. It's not a destination.
I don't know if we can go anywhere up from there, but let's keep trying. That's more humility equals better listener equals better service.
But but that's what you do. I mean, I've watched you for years, and you do this. This is what's funny. When this trip first came on my radar screen, literally just a week ago, and I had some things I had to move and so forth. There was one person I was not going to call. I was not going to call you, because I had made a commitment to you. And because of the integrity and who you are, I'm going to figure out a way to make this happen. So right now I'm in a hotel room with the camera literally on top of a table, on top of a table, on top of a garbage can. But it's working, okay? What can I say?
You sound great. And we're even doing it in English. So
I don't know Spanish. See?
Yeah, there you go. So, often what I've noticed is leaders like you that are, leading, you're a thought leader around the world, you're sharing truth, you're writing, you're doing all these things. They seem to have some routines that are helping themselves personally stay grounded and be better. Do you have routines, faith, family, finances, with your spouse, your wife? What kind of routines do you have that keep you healthy? Physically, emotionally, maritally, whatever?
Yeah, I mean, I'm up every morning at 4:30, and by about 4:40, I'm working out, and I'm going for a run by 5 o'clock, and I'm out of the shower, dressed, and everything before 6, and then I'm able to spend time with my wife before she goes off to work. I have my personal devotions, my personal quiet time every morning right after that, and I'm not looking at email. I'm not looking at anything. I'm taking care of these critical issues first, and then I can begin to gear up. But see, I can do that for 2 reasons. A, I just know that I just operate much better that way. That's how I'm grounded. But B, I've prepared my day the day before. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
Tell me about that process, preparing the day before. What's that look like?
Yeah, I mean, I know exactly who I'm going to call, what I'm going to call about. I know all the steps I'm going to do. See, tomorrow begins today. I preach that a lot. Tomorrow begins today. So I'm going to make sure that my day is completely laid out. So I know, and this is the whole thing. I don't lay it out with 100% of the day booked. I keep white space on my calendar. I keep white space because I want time to just be down. And I also make appointments with myself. I tell people the most important appointments you can make are the appointments to yourself, because everybody needs that time just to step back and think and just stop. And it's amazing when I take that time to just stop and think. It's amazing how suddenly ideas that are rolling around my head, suddenly they flush themselves out. Suddenly, ooh, that's a great something I've got to share with this CEO. I've got to share with this CRO or this VP of sales. It's those are the moments that I value the most because it allows me to create. And this is the whole thing. As leaders, are we paid to execute, or are we paid to really create the next level? We're paid to create the next level. Because as leaders, if we're not creating new leaders, we're not doing our job. So I always ask myself, and I tell this to my team, my team, it's funny, I've got two of the people who work for me are in college right now. And they just started back in school. Both happen to be seniors. And I asked them the question, okay, hey, how's the year going? And I check in with them every week. I want to know how your classes are going, how you're doing. But I want to know, what are your goals? What are your goals post-graduation? Yes, I want them to join the company full time. But whatever their goals are, I said, I want to help you succeed in whatever it is you want to do. And it was very interesting, but the other people in my company, they look at that and they go, wow, he's willing to help somebody leave the company. And what does that make them? They feel that much better. They say, I'm glad I'm working with Mark. I'm glad I get that chance. And that's how you demonstrate leadership.
Mark, to everybody listening, where can they find out more about you, your book, all the great work you're doing, your big annual event? Where's a good place to go?
Well, the best way to go is to the website, thesaleshunter.com. And people always say, what was your name before Hunter? No, I have my dad to thank for that. Okay, that's been my name since birth. And it's The Sales Hunter. It's not Sales Hunter because unfortunately, when I bought the domain name, Sales Hunter was okay, go get add the in front of it. A lot of market research went into that baby. But that's where you can find me. I'm all over social media.
Oh, all that'll be in the show notes just for everybody looking, trustedleadershow.com. And also just go thesaleshunter.com. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, I want to give and get. People always tell me, Mark, you're giving away so many things. I say, that's fine. I want to keep giving. Because if I can help one person achieve a little more success, then I've done my job. And if I do that to enough people, they'll reach out. My business is good. I'm standing here in Toledo, Spain right now because of that.
Absolutely. Last question. It's the Trusted Leader Show. Who's a leader you trust and why?
A trusted leader that I really respect is my father. And my father passed away 25 years ago. But I'll tell you what, I look at his leadership. He was a pastor for years. Then he was in state government. In fact, he ran prison system for the state of Washington for a number of years. Then he was in civic. He was an elected. But I watched him demonstrate integrity and demonstrate things just so clearly, never wavering. I still look back and I think he would be shocked at what I've been able to accomplish today. But he is kind of my role model of a leader. I hate to say it, I see too many leaders that people put up on a pedestal and then they do something really stupid. And
it's a treat to have that. Yeah, it's a treat to have that leader be your dad because you can, watch it and you take things. I'm grateful, certainly, for my dad and the leadership he has showed. Almost 92 years old now, and he's still living it out. So,
and see, my father passed away way too young, but I watched him right up to really the end, and he lived a life of absolutely zero regrets, continuously impacting people. And this is the whole thing, impacting people. And it's funny, but I watched him impact people to the detriment of our family finances. I mean, he was always helping somebody out, and whether it be time, whether it be money. And I go, wow, that's doing life right. And I never saw an ounce. I never saw a moment where he regretted what he was doing. And I think this is the challenge, because he had goals. He had tremendous aspirations, tremendous. Did he achieve all of them? No. But you know what? He achieved what he was meant to be. I mean, again, his life was built around faith, and I massively respect him for it.
Well, Mark, thank you for joining. Even from Spain, it's time for you to have some dinner. Everybody out there, big shout out to Mark Hunter. Thanks for being here. And to all of you, thanks for joining us on the Trusted Leader Show. Until next time, stay trusted.